Okay, I was watching another YouTuber and he was talking about wire strippers, and it dawned on me that I've got lots of wire strippers, and I thought I would show you one particular wire stripper that I really like, and then I noticed I had way too many, and so I thought, well, let me just kind of show you all of them. Maybe you haven't seen some, and I'll finally get to the one that I really wanted to show off. So let's take a look at all of these. We'll start with maybe ones that are very easy to get a hold of. So these are, let me zoom in a bit. These are from Harbor Freight, and you can get them for, I think, for $1.99 when they're on sale or something. I think normally they're maybe $3.99 or something, but I really like these. I probably use these more than any of the other ones for a certain size. So these go from 10 gauge to 20 gauge. So for kind of larger wires, these are good to go. And they work great. I like the curved handles. They're good size. They have the little lock on the side. So those are great, but I was kind of disappointed that they only went to 20 gauge, and a lot of times I use 22 gauge, 24 gauge wire and stuff like that. So so I found these. So these are Klein tools. And Klein makes a version just like this with, I think, the same gauge wires, but they also make another one where these go from 22 gauge to 32 gauge. So for electrical engineering or microelectronics or whatever, these are like the ones that I use all the time. So for most of my work, I use these. I don't know if these have a part number on them, or I don't see a part number on them, but if you look for Klein tools, and oh, here we go, 11057. So like I said, 22 gauge to 32 gauge, it's the perfect. They have nice big fat handles. They're good in the hand. Again, they're curved, so they're very much like the same. These are much like the same thing, right? Okay. There are, let's see, there are tools like this, which I'm not too crazy about. I think these are more of, it's kind of like actually home wiring, things like that, or maybe car wiring. They go from 10 gauge to 22 gauge, like the Pittsburgh ones. They have an area here for crimp connectors. You know, these type of things that you crimp onto wires and stuff. There's places for when you use insulated connectors and when you use non-insulated connectors. Looks like there's some smaller ones and some bigger ones. I think the ones that have the insulation, you don't want to use the places where it gouges in a lot. It like cracks the plastic, and you use these here that just kind of smush it down. They don't seem to be very good at making good contact when you just have the smushy kind. I like the ones that have the bent in section that make kind of a U smash, which is if you can see it on, let's see here, if you can see it on this, it really smashes in there, and gives you a really good hold. Okay, so there's these kind. These don't have a lock; they stay open all the time, which is kind of a pain when you put them in the drawer. These are made by Multitools, huh? Anyway, it's that kind of thing. Similar to that are these type of tools. This one is Walden. And it has a nice crimp section, so it has a very nice section here for crimping, A and B, kind of a small and large and medium. There's a place to cut screws, screw them in and snap them off to make the screw shorter, and then the wire stripper section is down here, and that's almost useless. These just don't work at all. So I would say this tool is great for crimping. Forget it for wire stripping. You don't want to go there. This one's really lousy. All right, next one. I haven't had these very long. I saw somebody use them I believe it was on an automotive channel. I think it was the South Bend Auto channel, actually. And these are Nyko, N-E-I-K-O. Maybe it's Nyko. I think it's Nyko. I think these are German. I think these are German made, so it would be Nyko. These are very similar to these. They have a crimp section and a stripper section, but the stripper section is actually made really well. It has a section that actually cuts, and so those just kind of come together, and these actually cut. So these are actually quite functional. These go from 20 gauge to 12 gauge, so they're pretty nice. And it has a nice little crimpy section here at the top. There's the bare section and the insulated section, so the smushy thing and the kind of the U-shaped thing. They're nice and small. They don't have a lot of leverage, so it's not going to be anything that you really have to clamp down on. They're not going to work very good. They didn't seem like they had a lot of mechanical advantage. They're made extremely well. They're really heavy duty. They're very nice. I thought I would really fall in love with these things, and I just haven't. So whatever. Let's see. Where are the other? Trying to find my other clippers here. Shoot. Oh, here they are. So when I actually crimp something, these are the ones that I use. These are Burndy, B-U-R-N-D-Y. These are my father's. And these have a really, really good mechanical advantage. They have very long handles. So very good mechanical advantage. The crimpers are very, very close to the fulcrum point. And they have a nice U-shaped thing and a smushy thing for the insulated and bare. So these actually crimp really, really, really well. They have a actual snipper at the end here, so for cutting. So these would be really good for cutting Romex and stuff. They're not all that sharp. I need probably sharpen them. There's no wire stripper on this thing though, so it's just a crimping tool and a cutting tool. But these work really, really good for the crimping because of the mechanical advantage. All right, I'm going to show you one more wire stripper. I bought these at a junk store once. These are real expensive if you try to buy them new. This is Speedex, Rockford, Illinois, American made. They have it's automatic. You put the wire in and it comes and it cuts the insulation and then it pulls apart and strips the wire off. I thought I would think these were just the greatest thing ever. They're like really high-tech looking, you know, they all kinds of moving parts and everything. Maybe if you were going to do a really big wire chassis and you're really going to strip a lot of wires, then maybe these will save you some time and energy. But just for everyday use, they're too clunky. They're just too much. And they don't fit my hand well, and I don't know. I just don't use them. Oh well. They're really cool though. Very cool. These go from 18 gauge to 20 gauge. No. It says 18 to 20 over here, but over here it says 8 to 22. Weird. It's got an 8 to 10, a 12, 14, 18, and 22. And then this says 18 to 20. So, yeah, go figure. Oh well. Okay. So the reason I was going to videotape this segment was Multitools. So everybody loves Multitools. So these are my two favorite Leatherman Multitools. These are the Skeletal and kind of the mini Skeletal, and they make these in several versions. But these are very, very nice, great. They're actually quite functional. Some multi-tools are kind of wimpy. These are really heavy duty. So it has a wire cutter and some pliers and screwdrivers and blades, and it all folds up, and there's replaceable bits and removable bits to change the size of your Phillips. And anyway, these are really cool. And it comes with kind of a little carabiner type, a little clip here. You can clip it on your belt. This actually is a beer opener as well, a bottle opener. So that's kind of cool. And then there's a little bitty version of it, which is really cute. So I had to have the little bitty version. It's almost the same thing. It doesn't have the cool screwdriver bits and stuff, but it does its thing. It does have a little scissors. It's very cute, very cute. Okay, but so that's just kind of a side thing, though. So I like multi-tools. So what about electrical engineering? Are there any multi-tools for electrical engineering? Yes, there are. It is this one. It's called the Leatherman Squirt ES4. And I think you can find this on eBay once in a while. I don't know if they actually make these anymore. I don't remember. But instead of having pliers in the middle, it has wire strippers in the middle. Very cool. So these are 12 through 20 gauge, and little wire cutter at the end, and then wire stripper, and then little plier at the end. They also have a file, a coarse file on one side and a fine file on the other. They have a nice sharp blade, and on this side they have let's see, they have scissors. And then over here is pretty cool. They have 2 blades. This one has a little bottle opener and has a slotted screwdriver bit. And then this thing over here is a bit confusing to look at, but it actually is half of a Phillips screwdriver. So Phillips screwdriver is like a cross. And if you just take half of that, that's what this is. But it fits a Phillips screw, and it actually works. So it's kind of a poor man's Phillips screwdriver. But they do work good. So, but if you need something that's kind of electrical type in nature, or wire strippers, the Leatherman Squirt ES4.